On Monday nights, Evening Jazz with Tracy Fields. These tunes bring back memories for some and give others a taste of something new and different. Let's tune in to WLRN Radio.
Everybody knows South Florida is well supplied with sun, fun, and freakishly large insects. But not everybody is aware of all the excellent jazz musicians who call this place home. I'm the real Tracy Fields, host of Evening Jazz, and I'm on a mission to set everybody straight. I think, Tom Jicka, who is the television writer for the Sun Sentinel, once described Evening Jazz as jazz intensive, and I think that's a pretty accurate definition. There's a quote that's widely attributed to Duke Ellington. He is reported to have said that there are two kinds of music, good and bad. I am very happy here at WLRN to be able to stray outside of whatever box jazz would fit into, just to bring people good music. When you think of all the places that jazz has been, when you think of its beginnings in New Orleans and moving up the Mississippi River to Chicago and then to New York and California and then around the world, all the kinds of people and all the places that jazz has influenced and been influenced by, I can't think of a better way really to define it. I think that there will always be people coming along who play, perform, compose in the pure sense, if you will. Has anybody said lately that European classical music is dead? They keep writing that stuff, people keep playing it. So I think that all classical music's probably operating that way. I have been at WLRN for most of the last 15 and a half years. I had to take some time off. I was away for 16 months. I had been working on Saturday nights, and Len Pace was the host of Evening Jazz. I always wanted to follow Len Pace when he retired, but when the bottom fell out of the local economy, it kind of took me with it, so I ended up going back to my home in Greensboro, North Carolina for 16 months, which worked out pretty well because while I was there, it turned out to be the end of my father's life, and I was able to spend time with him. And about 2 months after my pop died, I got a call from down here that Len was retiring and they needed a host for Evening Jazz, and would I come down and do it? Are you kidding? So, I packed up my dogs and cats and a couple things in my car and drove back down, and here I am. My father was a big music fan. He grew up in New York City back in the late 1930s and early 1940s, and he had 78s. I remember specifically him having a 78 of the Count Basie Orchestra with Joe Williams doing Every Day I Have the Blues. And as a little kid, I was really fascinated by the record that went around and around and around so fast. 78 is pretty speedy, even going back to the days when people even had records. That was kind of interesting. But beyond the speed of the record, I really loved the music, and I think I also appreciated how much my father loved the music. And I find now that I have that same response that he had when I hear the music, and it's such a pleasure coming through him, through me, to share that music with people. I guess it's like any other art, like writing or painting or even driving. Some people get into things and do them with finesse and a style and care and seriousness that other people can't apply to them. And I think that's certainly true of radio. I try to apply all of those things to Evening Jazz. One of the things that's wonderful about working here is they don't mess with me. They don't tell me what to play or what not to play, which is amazingly rare. I have pretty complete freedom, within the bounds of good taste, and that's priceless. And I want to thank my listeners for making that possible, because that only happens on public radio. This is a spiritual thing for me. It is a privilege and a pleasure, as I said, to be able to play the work of such talented people. And there is, a vibe. There's something that comes through in the music, and it's an honor for me to be able to share that with people. I have a connection with my listeners that I can't explain. Sometimes I'll decide to play a tune and somebody will call me up and request it. And people call and tell me that they've thought of things, or that, well, certainly that their moods have been improved by things that I've played. And as Bebop Grabowski says, we get a lot of people home. It's a service, and, well, this is what I do to try to make the world a better place.